Ready for the restart. It'll be 56 laps of 150 complete. Brian Newman, Ronnie Silk are the front row. Savali and Stefanik, row 2. Bonsignor and Beers, Burnt and Seiss, Miller and Flemke, the top 10. Green flag. Clean restart. Boy, Eric Beers in that red 45 has done a nice job fighting himself up to the top 5. Side by side with Savali. Silk comes up to the high side. 3 wide. The 45 makes it 3 wide. I can't believe it. He's going to be side by side for third.
Beers was fast in practice, Mike. This is no surprise to see him run this well. Santos, meanwhile, had pitted under that caution flag and taken 3 tires. He was the pole winner. He is now running 16th.
Eric Beers is third. What a bold move, way up on the outside. Spinner front straightaway, and Wade Cole is in the wall. Caution. .33 pulls away down into turn 1. And doesn't look like a lot of damage.
Of course, that car wasn't perfect when the race started.
No, and it turned around right in the middle of the front straightaway. Still on the lead lap, 23rd place.
I watched Eddie Flemke drive his father's car, flathead powered at Riverside Park Speedway about 40 years ago.
Here's what we have of it. Loose off 4 and around, no contact.
Easy to do at Bristol.
Yep. And we're at 60 laps of 150.
Still out in front.
We'll be back for the restart as Wade Cole pits. Ryan Newman, Mike Stefanik, the front-running pair. While we were away, we tried one more restart. It was fine for about 3/4 of a lap, and then this happened. Rowan Pennick is going to try to shoot the middle with John Smith on the outside. Just doesn't have enough room. That contact sheds the right front from Pennick's car and breaks the steering. He limps around to the pit, and that's caution flag number 7. Bob.
Down here, we've caught up with Corey LaJoie, who was in that tough hit earlier on in this race. Looks like you're okay. What caused that wreck?
I think it was a sway bar arm fell off or something like that, because I didn't even lift yet, and it was pointed towards the fence. The next thing I knew, the bumper was sitting on the carburetor. So it's a shame. We were running pretty good, you know, all things considered, running the East car, and then jumping this modified running. I don't know where we were running, but I thought we were just driving up to the front, and you know, it's one of them things that happens, and hey,
Tough break for LaJoie, 3rd generation modified driver. John Smith went to pit road as the field lined up for green. Ryan Newman leads him, but here comes Eric Beers in the red 45. He may pose the first threat to Newman today.
Beers is absolutely storming here. The Northampton, Pennsylvania driver, car number 45, running in 2nd spot, right on Newman's bumper.
Stefanik 3rd, Silk in 4th, Kobe up to 5th, Eric Burnt. But the battle is all for the lead. As it is for 4th place, side by side. Silk is going to lose the spot to the 52 of Doug Kobe on the right of your screen. And Todd Zegedy, our onboard camera car, has worked his way back up into the top 10 after having to dodge every wreck we've had tonight. Now he works to the inside of Woody Pitcat in the 28. Gets a little loose. Shoves it in on the bottom.
And that view you see with the air cleaner sticking right through the middle of the hood, that is what it is really like behind the wheel of one of these things. That air cleaner gets in your way of seeing where you're trying to go.
The first time you climb behind the wheel, you say, how am I ever going to see anything?
Yeah.
And by about your 3rd time on track, it's like it's not even there. Zegedy moves up. Past L.W. Miller as well as Pitcat. Drops to the bottom once again. And at 2nd place, Stefanik now looking to show some muscle as he goes after Beers.
right now. So Doug Coby marching his way through the field. Guys, remember this. This is Doug Coby's first visit to Thunder Valley.
Tough break for our pole sitter. The Mystic Missile of Bobby Santos III. Coast down pit road.
Santos has had a tough year. Started out at Thompson the first race of the year with a blown motor. And things simply have not gotten better since. There he sits on pit road.
Second place, Beers and Stefanik.
It's an interesting battle. Here's Beers that has only won a couple of times in this series, with Stefanik in the 16, who has won 71 times and 7 championships.
Mike Stefanik also had a couple of seasons in what was then the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. A little Bristol experience. Bob, what's up with the Missile?
Bobby Santos, very emotional on the radio. He wanted this one here at Bristol pretty bad. They asked him, did it just tighten up? He goes, no, it didn't tighten up at all. The engine just started slowing up. And that's the problem for the Ford, the Mystic Missile.
A watch for him on speed in September at New Hampshire with a Richie Evans tribute paint scheme, as Evans has been elected to NASCAR's Hall of Fame. James Savali in that 79 has been getting impatient, and he's been wearing out the front bumper on that car, the chrome horn, they call it in modified parlance. He pulls up alongside the 58 of Eric Goodale. Let's see if he can get a little further.
Savali had pitted just a few laps ago on that caution flag, and they fired fresh tires on it, so he has an advantage over a lot of the people who are around him.
Alongside the 02 of Tim Brown. Brown is the 11th place car, racing out of Cana, Virginia.
Boy, it's busy down there.
That's a hornet's nest.
Yep. That looks like trouble on the way to happening.
That's Eric Byrne, 46 up on the outside. Now Wade Cole is a lap car, and around goes the 07 into the wall front straightaway.
All by himself, fortunately. Several other drivers had a shot at Emmerling.
Emmerling, when that pack went past him, he had a little trouble keeping the car down on the bottom of the racetrack as the cars in the lead lap were going by, and he spins it off turn number 4, and probably at 85 laps this caution is a good thing to break up what had been a really pitched battle from about 8th place on back.
One wonders what Ryan Newman's pitting strategy is going to be.
Maybe about to find out. Here's what brings out the 8th caution of the evening. Contact. Emmerling got up and into that black car.
Yeah. Well, you can't really get off the concrete very far here. When you do, the banking does flatten out a little bit, but he also had some help from behind. Boom. So much of this stuff has happened right in front of the flag stand. You know, it's nice for the flagmen to see that stuff.
Leaders pitting. Ryan Newman, Eric Beers, and Mike Stefanik will come to pit road. So will Ronnie Silk, Doug Coby. Most of the lead lap cars will take this opportunity to pit at lap 86, Bob.
Ryan Newman pulls his modified into his pit stall. Gary Putnam, the crew chief on this machine, the car chief for Jamie McMurray and all his boys on the one team pitting this car. It'll be a 4-tire stop for Ryan Newman. Ryan basically saying the car is pretty darn good. Just need to loosen it on exit off the corner here because it's a little bit tight, but Ryan Newman looking pretty good. A 4-tire stop for the 77 car.
Now on yellow, everybody has to enter off turn 2, just as they do in the Sprint Cup Series. So many of the other cars are now just reaching their pits on the front side of the racetrack. But Newman is going to have to go all the way around and exit out of turn 1. So everybody has the same distance to travel under caution.
Dick, if I understand correctly, you are allowed to add fuel and tires, but not on the same stop?
You got it.
So if they want fuel, they'll have to come back around and back in.
Yep.
Eric Beers on the right, your second place car, the John Blewett Inc., number 45. And Newman, first off the pit lane ahead of Stefanik, then Beers, then Jason Myers. Todd Zegedy elected not to pit under this caution. He'll be our leader when we go back to green.